Hello, my name is Linda Gerber. Welcome to my YouTube channel, What's Up in the Global Economy. And today I'm going to be talking about what I think is a significant trend taking place in China. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see the article that I'm referring to in this video. And the story is from the Wall Street Journal, and it's about the fact that the Chinese are facing not only an economic slump, which was predicated by COVID and the many lockdowns that they have had to deal with and supply chain interruptions and so forth, but in addition, the birth rate slump that they are starting to see. And I'm going to talk about the background for it and why it is important. Now, China has seen a declining birth rate for about 5 years now. But the expectation is we are now at the point where China's population may actually be starting to shrink either this year or next year, which basically means that there will be more deaths than there are births. And so in fact, some people think that the population could move from the 2 billion that there is today to less than 800 million by the end of the century. Now, that's a long ways off, but it still has important implications. And so what is happening is that the COVID has not only dampened economic growth, but it also has made it more difficult for young adults of marrying and birth age, or the age of having children, have found it harder and harder to meet each other. In addition to is the fact that the unemployment rate for people under 24 years of age is almost up to 20%. It's about 19%. And this has created a lot of hesitancy among young people to get married, to put another mouth at the table by having children. And so that is a significant concern. Some of this also goes back to China's one-child policy that was put into effect in 1980 with the aim of reducing growth in the Chinese population. And that's when the population was growing so fast that there was concern that the economic growth couldn't keep up with the population growth. So families were told they could only have one child. Turns out that because the earning potential was higher for male children than female children, many of the parents decided that they wanted to get rid of female children, either through abortion or through adoption. And so what's happened in the aftermath is there's a whole lot more eligible males than eligible females, which now that has depressed the economic growth as well. So if you combine a slowing economy, the COVID impact with the aftermath of the one-child policy and the high unemployment rates, this is all having a very depressing effect on birth rates in China. And in fact, this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy or a vicious cycle, in that if there's fewer women having children, then down the line there's fewer future women to have future children, and so it tends to compress the birth rate. There was one young man cited in this article who was a civil servant, and he said he would only date women that worked for the government because he felt that was a better shot at security, job security, than women who are working in private industry or not working. So clearly this is having impact on personal lives as well as the social dynamic within China. So what happens is if you have lower growth, you have lower population growth, you have lower economic growth, and that can then lead to social unrest. We already know that there has been some protests in China over economic conditions and mortgage policies and lending policies and so forth. So that creates a sense of instability domestically, but it also has the potential to have impact on China's growing importance in the global economy as well as the geopolitical situation. Because if China isn't growing, if their economy isn't growing, their population isn't growing, then they do not have the same economic footprint and economic potential that they had in the past. This can jeopardize Chinese ambitions for control of the South China Sea. It certainly has implications for the Belt and Road Initiative that we're not going to talk about now, but if you've been in my class, you know about the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a major supply chain program that China has put in place and wants to continue. So there are people now who are saying that China will not actually overtake the United States as the largest economy in the world, as had previously been forecast. So this maybe doesn't have immediate consequences, say 5 years, 10 years, but if we look out as much as 10 years and then into 20, 30 years, this could have a significant impact on not only China's position in the world, but also its impact on leadership among other countries in the world as well. So definitely one to keep your eye on. I hope you will, and I hope you will subscribe to What's Up in the Global Economy, and you'll get messages about further podcasts going forward.